Thank you for joining the class. So without taking much of our time, since by the end of the class today, we still have other announcements and things to discuss. So firstly, I want us to do a quick recap on what we talked about last week. So without bringing up the slide, what are the things we can remember from our previous class? That was last week, Saturday and Sunday. We discussed about a lot of things. So let me, I'll be checking the chat box. Let me see those things we still remember regarding our discussion last week. So I'm seeing authentication method, conditional access, authentication, security and compliance. Okay. MFA, multi-factor. Location. One person said location. That is incomplete policies. Talk a bit about license. Okay. Password protection, identity protection. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, a password expiration policy. Yes. So, thank you. I think I'm convinced that every one of us were with me last week. So we'll continue from where we stopped last week. If you remember last week, where we stopped was we skip Fido, how to configure Fido, and I said we are chance this week we will start from there because one person actually wanted us to do that. So I will quickly run you through that. Then we'll now go to today's class proper. Is that fine? Or we should just go into today's class? I'm expecting our response. Should we go to how to set up the video or we should just go to today's class? Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Don't worry, I'll share my entire screen so everybody can see everything. Okay, so I believe everybody can see my screen. So we are starting from the Fido, which is where we stopped last week. If you remember last week we added this account, which is the Authenticator app from Microsoft. So today we will add the Fido. Perhaps if you are lost or you can't hear me clearly, you can drop a chat in the chat box so I can know in case anybody is not carried along. So for the Fido, we have different method. So once you click on add sign in method, then you click on security key. So I already have my hardware, my Fido key or my UB key um attached to my laptop. I have it on my laptop already. So I'll click on security key. Then you click on add. Next. So this should ask us, okay. So it's trying to authenticate again in the previous one. Okay. So you ask us to choose the type of security key that you have. So which means the means in which you plugged your device. You know, I told you it's an external device, a hardware device. So my own is via USB device. So I'll click on USB. Then I'll click on next. So it should detect it automatically itself. See, I'm not using iPhone on iPad device, so I'm using a security key device. Then you click on next. And I see this is my account. Okay, click on OK. So it's asking me to set up the PIN. So we said I should touch my security key, which I've done. Then we are good to go. So it's straightforward and simple. Not something that is that stressful. So I should give it a name. So we are good. So it's as simple as that. And if you no longer need it or you don't want it again, you can decide to come here and do what and delete any of them if you don't want them again. I hope we understand this. Please let me know if you understand and you get it. Please let me know if you get it. Then before we proceed. Yes, the key have sensor. So the sensor, you have to place your hand on it like a screen touch. Like a fingerprint, sorry. Like a fingerprint, then to give you access. What is FIDO, please? I thought we talk about it last week. How do you set it up for a customer? Then the customer must have it first. The customer must have it first, and we have different kind of FIDOs. For those that were in class last week, remember I went online and I showed you some things. FIDO. Can you see it? So we have different type. Somebody was asking if it has sensor. You can see this place we have key is a sensor. So we have different type, different manufacturers. I'm not even sure my own is something like this. Something like this. Oh, exactly. Can you see this? This is the exact one I'm using. Yes, the exact one I have with me. If you look at the top, you see like it's as if there's a melter at the top. Let me see if I can click on it. Oh, it's not that big. As if there is metal at the top. That is the sensor. You can see every other ones so they have their own sensor. So it all depends. I hope that person question is answered. Besides, sorry, I would have loved to repeat the process again, but we don't really have much time. So I just have to go through since I promised last week that we'll continue from there. Please let's run through the summary of the last class. Yes, we are still going to do that. We are still going to do that. So that is all on the FIDO. So today we can go to our class proper. So last week I gave us our course outline and things we'll be discussing. If you look at the first learning part and the second learning part, we've actually discussed about about them. So today we are going to the third learning part, but before we go there, we just look at some things we talked about last time, understanding the importance of data protection in Microsoft and privacy measure, which we all talk about from Microsoft ecosystem. We move from the admin center to the Microsoft Entra ID center. We discuss a lot of things there, and I could remember that Joseph added some additional contribution about BIM also for those that are in class last week. So administrator roles, we also talk about it. User should be given the list administrator role based on what the user wants to work on and how the user will work on it. Then before we started, user password protection. Then we went to our entry ID. We talk about idleness. We talk about password expiration policy. We talk about self password self-service password SSPR. We talk about authentication methods, talk about conditional access. We talk about a lot of things around this with a lot of explanation last week. So still have them MFA, then the Entra identity, and we explained a lot about it last week also. So I will not be going around to those explanations again. So today we'll be going to the new topic we want to talk about. So we have Microsoft Score, Secure Score. So what exactly is Microsoft Secure Score? Let me put it in a layman language. So Microsoft Secure Score is like for those that have CCTV at home, there is a screen in which you monitor all what is going on at home. The screen will show you different parts of the house where you have the camera and you have different view from different cameras in the part of the house or the street, whichever way. But once you check your monitor, you see different things there. And from seeing your screen, if your camera is working fine, those that are expected to be work in night mode, if they are not working from there, you will get to know. So Microsoft Secure Score, it allow organization to assess their security posture, to know what exactly is going on. Are we safe? Are there things that we are expected to do? How are we expected to do it? And once what is recommended, and after doing it, is it fine? So you will see everything in the Microsoft Secure Score. You can see it's even have recommendation to strengthen your security. So all these are just the, how should I put it now, the essay part of this trading, because we'll still go to the Microsoft Admin Center and we still check some of these things. If you don't forget, last week I mentioned that we'll be looking out to three admin center, which is the Entra ID, Purview, and the Defender. The three admin center will be discussing expressly about, which is what we have on our screen today also, which we have on our screen today also. So if you are still with me, please let me know, because today I have just one screen. I'm not seeing any other thing. Are you still with me? Can you still hear me? I just want to be sure we are together. Thank you. Thank you. So let's continue. So exchange online protection. So there are things that have been put in place to protect all the activities that is happening via our email to secure user. I'll be talking about it one after the other. So particularly when it comes to threats review, there are three things that is very common, which is malware, phishing, and social engineering. Malware, phishing, and social engineering. So I will throw you to the house now from your own view, or you want to check online, what is malware? What is malware? You can drop it in the chat. What is malware? I am waiting. What is malware? Malicious software, malicious content. Okay. Is a threat or virus attacks, a virus that affects our system. Okay. Everybody is actually correct in whichever way you put it. So what is phishing now? Designed to harm a device, computer, or steal data. Okay. So what is phishing? Or malicious software designed to damage. Okay. So what is phishing? Let's go to phishing. Phishing is a way of getting rid of the virus. Wow. Interesting. What is phishing? Trying to get an information through an illegal way. Yeah. What is phishing? Can we have other definitions? So, types of scam that tricks people into giving away their personal. Thank you. Of stealing information. Exactly. Exactly. Act of stealing sensitive information. Sorting out information. Thank you. Thank you. All the definitions are actually correct. So what is social engineering? What is social engineering? Yes, like phoning data from people. What is social engineering? What is social engineering? So we can continue. We have less than 1 hour, 30 minutes more. All techniques aim at stopping a target into revealing specific information or performing a specific action for illegitimate reason. Thank you. Using tricks such as calls to trick you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody is correct. So let's continue. So let me just give us a brief breakdown. So from the statistics I saw online, online. So the root cause of data breach, process failure, 25%, human error, 27%, malicious, 48%, 48%. If you remember last week when I was explaining security and compliance, from there you should get what human error is. You know, we've done our security, but however, the compliance is needed, which is where human error comes in, which is where human errors comes in. So if we look at the malware, so it includes um, numerous threat families, all with different names, softwares that are created with the aim to get information or to use it for a malicious activity. So we have viruses, we have worms, we have Trojan, which one again? Ransomware, I think rootkit, we have rootkit, we have bootkit. I think these are the ones I can remember for now for malware. So why am I mentioning these things? I just want to give us a background knowledge of what exactly those things are, before we start protecting against it. At least anything we are protecting ourselves against, then must have understand what the stuff is and how harmful it can be. So we've talked about phishing also. Phishing is just straightforward, it's act of setting a bait, it's act of setting a bait to users. Most time they just cast the net randomly into the wide ocean. They cast it everywhere. So whoever that fall victim for it, the fish. So the fish is caught. But however, most time once they are setting out the net, it doesn't go actually to um it goes actually to um large number of people. Large number of people. Okay, let me tell you this. When I was Microsoft support, so I came across this ticket. So the user raised a support that somebody is threatening him. So what is the content of the email that I said somebody is threatening him? um the email was sent that last night, while the customer was watching an adult movie, and he was also um trying to have pleasure with himself. I believe we all understand what I mean. I don't want to use foul words. While he's trying to have pleasure with himself, that a camera from his system uh, record has recorded that act down, both what he's doing and what he has on his screen. And if you don't send money to a particular um Bitcoin address before 24 hours, that video will be released on the internet for everybody to watch. For everybody to watch. One way or the other. So I went on screen sharing with the customer. And when I get to the screen sharing, guess what? The first thing I saw on the customer screen, he's still watching adult movie. He just quickly, oh my bad, sorry, sorry, sorry. And he minimized the page. So which means one way or the other, the customer is actually um is actually doing um what the person said. And if you look at with that act, since it looks as if the customer is caught in the act, assuming the customer did not raise a support request, while I give him more information regarding that email to let him know that you are not the first person receiving this email. This email are sent to a lot of people, not just you, but because you perform the act that they mentioned, that is why you think you are truly recorded, and he was looking for a way to siphon the situation. So what am I saying? The email will be sent to thousands or millions of people. But however, some people that maybe they are victim of it, they are the one that will actually do what? Fall for it. They become victim of that email sent. So which is that about phishing, without about phishing. So before we even go to the Microsoft admin center, um let's still leave save link. I'll be showing you one email. So I believe I've edited anything editable that can be traced back to anybody from here. So I'll be scrolling at this email gently, gently, and you tell me what is wrong in this mail. You'll be telling me what is wrong in this mail. And also, it will tell me if this email is legit or not. If this email we have here, if the email is legit or not. So I'm trying to scroll slowly so you can see it. Let me start from the top again. I'm trying to scroll slowly, 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 slowly. I think this is the bottom. This is the bottom. So this email, don't worry, don't mind this email. I was one that edited the domain and just put this here in case this is what you are looking at. No, I'm the one that puts this here. I removed the original domain. So from this email, I'll go back to our teams now. Let me know if this email is legit. If it's legit, why? If you think it's not legit, why? I should zoom it out. Okay. Just hope so. Just hope I can do that. I'm not sure I can do that. I'm not sure I can. Email is in Outlook currently. Sorry for those that cannot see it. I'm not sure I can zoom it. The other option to zoom, if I zoom it, every writing to resume, not just this app. Please manage it like that. For those that can see it clearly, what do you think? Is this a legit? If it's not legit, why? Why? The village people have catch him over. Okay. I'm just seeing your comments. Not legit. The email has different fonts. Okay, it is not legit. It is urgent and requesting to download the attachment. Full audition. No, it is not. Why? Why, Abdullah? Why? Over the link. Okay, I'll do that. I'm not sure the link, the hyperlink is still showing because I've removed a lot of things from it. And yeah, I don't have it saved on my system. I just click the forward. So I'm not sure you can still see the hyperlink. So I just want to give some simple illustration of some things. Not legit, the mode of attachment. It is not. Download and make provision. The sender email address. What do we have there? We don't have sender email address now. The what you have here is my own email address. There is still one more thing there that you did not take note of. Yes, .html file. .html file. SHTML. That is one. There's still one other thing. No, these people that are saying live.com is my email. I open it with Outlook. So I have to click forward. So I'll be able to edit it and remove some confidential thing there so that it won't be traced back to the company where that this email was sent to. So that was the reason why I have to edit some things out of it. Because I said I'm not I edited it, so I can say it's legit. No, the attachment, the email subject, the body of the email is not very official. Yes, it's not looking official. Yes, virus-free notification at the end, the links, different color, the attachments. I think we should just end this class. Our students know everything already. There is no point going forward. Or do you still have any reason going forward? You already know everything. So we can close the class for today. So the email is not legit. The email is not legit. If you look at it very well, the font size, imagine starting with bold and the remaining part is different. The attachment, look at the attachment, HTML. Look at this part. This part is the funny part. When I saw the email, look at the abbreviation. You want to scam a company, you are not even professional about it. And besides, FIRS, they won't send an automated email to you. And also see, there is no signature. Who is sending it? And the urgency, the tone of the email, definitely you know that this email is not what is not genuine. It's not genuine. However, it is easier said here because we are much on the call. But some people, if they are alone, they will still fall victim of emails like this. They will fall victim of it. So let me close this one. Oh, don't skip. Said his laziness. Okay. So at least with this background knowledge, we already understood what phishing and malware and social engineering are. So how do we stop these things? Last week we talked mainly about to protect our identity so that it doesn't get compromised. All what we talked about was majorly a form of security no matter how secure you do it, no matter the training you give your users, users will always be users. As I said last week, as an IT person, the people you should trust the least should be your users. A user can raise a support. You will tell them, do this, do that, do this, and that. They will tell you, no, I've done everything. All what you are saying, I've done it. I even called one of my cousins in the US, called one of my cousins in the UK. He has been an IT practitioner for 15 years. He also asked me to do this. He asked me to do that. He asked me, then before he now concluded that I should reach out to the admin of our company, that they'll be the one to resolve this issue. Then you ask him again, are you sure you've done it? You say yes. Then you say, okay, can you bring your system to the office or let's go on a screen share? By the time you go on a screen share, the same thing you ask them if they've done is what you will do. You just go there and be wondering, I've asked you if you've done this thing. You say, oh, so is this? You now be wondering. So users will always be users irrespective. And especially for those that are in Nigeria, imagine during the period that the federal government said they will start giving out money. There was email, a chat on WhatsApp that was flying around that click on this link to register so that you can get your own money. A lot of people fall victim for that link. A lot of people. So users will always be users. So there was one time we did phishing campaign in our company. Then we sent out email to users and let them know that they've won free LinkedIn Premium for 1 year. Mhm. So we have free LinkedIn Premium for 1 year, and email was sent. It was a simulation attack that was sent to users. I can tell you that more than 65% of the users fall victim of it. The shocking part, the head of IT also fall victim. because the phishing looks so real, like it's coming from LinkedIn. So the way it was presented, as if our company partner with LinkedIn to give users those premium subscription. So most users they fell for it. So which is how those social engineering works. So most time it is what you need, what you have, what is trending they will use to do what to form. There was one other one also that works. So we had about salary increase, when things started coming up earlier, things becomes expensive, and transportation, feeding, everything was going up. So the company said, okay, they will increase our salary. Then we use that to send a phishing attack out to people that, okay, for you to qualify for the salary increase, please fill this form, your account number, your account details, BVN, NIN. Could you believe that people started filling it? HR that have been paying some people for more than 5 years, paying you for 6 years, some for 10 years. That same HR wants to increase your salary now. What should I use HR do with your BVN? A lot of personal information they are asking you, information they already have, not that the company caught fire, not that they would have said, oh, maybe when the company caught fire, or the system, or the servers where they have your information has been stolen, or we lost them. No, nothing of such. And people started feeling it just because of this money. So as an admin, what is expected of us? How do we call things like this, even when it happens, so our users don't get affected, our data don't get breached or linked, and our application also we still save, which is what we'll be looking at. It's almost an hour, not even started. So let's go to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Uh, I believe we all know how to get to the Admin Center. Am I right? Please, I don't want to assume. Let me check the chat. Okay. Well, yes, we all know how to get. Mhm. And they don't even need any logical thinking or critical thinking. If it's your personal email, you are not expecting money from anybody, you are not expecting anything. Just move it to junk. But if it's your official email, you have your IT department, you can easily forward that email to your IT department or take a screenshot to them to let them know you received this email. But because you want to spend the money alone, you don't want others to eat from the money, they don't want to tell the IT department. Only you want to pocket all the money. So majorly, most time is always greed that make people to fall victim of things like that. So thank you everybody. I believe everybody knows how to get to the admin center. So we've talked about the identity last week. So this week we are going to security. Do I have it open already? Because I have a training earlier today from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. So I just continue from some of what we've talked about. So it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. So scroll down. For those that have the admin center, I think two people I gave, Aisha and one other person last week. If you have access to it, you can go to your admin center. And I remember Rafiah to make some correction at the end of the class last week that you all have access to it. All you just need is to click on show all. Sure. Then when you click on show all, you see your security. Don't forget, I mentioned it last week also that the security is now called Defender, while the compliance is called Purview. So we don't get it wrong. So if you click on security here, takes you to Microsoft Defender. can say it. We have defender. So what we want to talk about majorly today are the things we have here. We have here. So I think the first thing we talked about earlier was secure score. Am I right? Yes, secure score. So how does secure score work? Now I've explained it already. It's just like a dashboard. It's like a dashboard that tells us how secure our environment, it tells us our security posture and what to improve on. Currently on this tenant, you can see my secure score, 42. At least I still have E, pass and pass, and we get carry over. So, and if you look at it, there is a breakdown of it. You can see identity, um, 33.2 of 61. So what I still have left, then data, you can see achieved, what I still have left, then applications, you can see what I still have left. The opportunity is what I have left, what I can still do. So it doesn't end there actually. So there are other recommendations to things I can do. If you click on this, you can see ensure multi-factor authentication is enabled for all users. So if I follow this recommendation, you see the points that I will achieve. So everything is there. So if I follow everything here, so as I should achieve 9 points. That is by complete everything. I should achieve 9 points. So the combination of these points is what will improve what I have in my tenant to be sure I'm secure. You can see here also it's recommend that intelligent for impersonation protection is enabled. You can see it. So it won't just show us, how should I put it now? It won't just show you, but it will also give you a recommendation on what to do. And most times it's always okay. So you can see most times you can click, if I click on this manage, it will take me direct to where I'm expected to do what it's recommended. To take you direct there. And if you want to learn about it, can you see? So there is a document also, or if you don't know how to implement it, there is a document here that will explain everything. So Microsoft will not just leave you without a comforter, However, for those that are admins, that you can't just do anything without taking permission, for those of us that work in big organizations, you know that for you to implement anything or make any changes, it will get to the CTO and others before you can make it, to get to the CSO, CTO before you can make any changes. So from here, you can click on share, then you can share the information as email, or you can copy the link and share with the CTO. So the CTO also can review what exactly is happening in the organization, what is left for us to do, what we are expected to do, what we've not done, everything. You can see some parts here. You can see it's highlighted green. Those ones have been achieved. So the ones we have that are not highlighted green are the ones that are yet to be completed. So because of our time and precise, this is my tenant. I'm the landlord of my tenant. I will not be going ahead. After discussion with myself, after having a meeting with a board of director with myself, so I will not be going ahead to implement any of what I have here, and it is my decision and my final decision. So on a serious note back now, so this is just what Microsoft Secure Score looks like and what it is used for. So before we continue to our my, threat management and others, do you have any question on Microsoft Secure Score? Please let me know in the chat if there is anything we don't understand. And also, I think there's a document here. I kept a document here, yes. For everything we'll be talking about today, I already kept a document at one side of the browser that will help us with it. Now let me drop it in the group. Wow. Can I go through it again? I seems a bit fast. Okay, no problem. So any other person again, any question? a lab note. I should drop on WhatsApp as well. Okay. And somebody can help me to copy that. You can help me to copy it and drop on WhatsApp. Somebody can copy and drop on WhatsApp. Thank you. Let me see. You're trying, you're trying to follow to know where you picked the secure score. Oh, your own is showing. You have seen now. Chibuna. How did I get to the secure score page? So you can do security. Okay, let me just give us one clue, especially for us that watch YouTube video a lot. If you are watching a video or somebody is taking you remotely and you don't know how they even get to where they are, the first place your mind should go is this. Say, if you should go to this place, it will bring you here directly. Let me copy it. Let me open that tab. Can I see that it brings us directly to the same secure score that we have here? The same thing. But however, the easiest way to get to secure score without even stressing your head or your brain, once you click on home will give you an overview of what you have in the Microsoft Defender. You can easily scroll down. See, these are secure score. You can easily scroll down and click on it. Okay, for those that said I was very fast explaining the Microsoft Secure Score. The reason why I was fast is because I've talked about it earlier. If you remember in our slide while I was showing you, we started with Microsoft Secure Score. So I said it shows your organization security posture and it give you recommendation on how to approve on your lapses, which is what we have on our screen. And we scroll down, we look at some of the recommendation he gave us. So here, he asked us to enable multi-factor authentication. If we click it, see, can you see it now? So if I click on manage, it will take me to enter ID. Do you remember where we have our MFA in enter ID? So it will take me there directly, and it will give you, if you come to this place, it will give you documentation. Can you see a lot of documentation on MFA? So it will explain to you why you should enable MFA, what is at risk, the license you needed, everything you need to know about it. They will provide it for you here. And I also said for those that need permissions, probably you need to send email to the CEO, you need to inform the CTO or the CSO before you can proceed or before you can do anything. Then you have the option to share. Yeah, you can share it, you can decide to copy the link, you can share it on Teams, you can share it via email to let them see. You might have group of admin on Teams, maybe a channel for the admins. You can move this there for them to see. Then on how to improve on your security in your environment. So for the person that said I was very fast, I hope I'm not too fast this time around. And we also scroll down to see some of them that has been completed, while we have some of them that are yet to be completed. They are yet to be completed because this is a test environment. I was saying it jokingly the other time that I've concluded, since I'm the landlord of these tenants, I will not be going forward by following the recommendation we have here. So why am I saying this boldly is because this is actually a test tenant, is not a production. So I'm not sure I have anything at stake here because I don't have data or any personal information on this tenant. As a matter of fact, if I hijack this tenant, I can go back to my Microsoft accounts at the back where I activated this tenant and do what? Delete everything and recreate it, or reset the global admin password from there because this one was given to us due to the MCT privilege we have. So it's not something that you can just hijack freely like that. So which is that on the Microsoft Secure Score? For the person that asked question, hope you get it this time around. So is there any other question? What is the essence of improving the secure score? What we have been talking about all this while is security. It's just for your environment to be more secure. If you see that all what you have on the secure score, everything around what is the recommendation and everything, we see that everything is around security. Everything, everything that you be seeing here is around security. You can see everything around here you be seeing is around security to make sure that your environment is secure. Nothing else. Just to be sure that your environment is secure. If you remember from the start, I gave illustration of CCTV. Yes, the more the better. The more the better. You can actually achieve more. Yes, you can achieve more. So that is that on secure score. So secure score is like your board, your scoreboard, your football scoreboard, showing you how far, what you have done, and what you need to do to improve on it. What you need to do to improve on it. Yes, for the person that have 50 points, 43%, you can actually take that as your own assignments. When you are free, you go through all the recommendations and implement them one after the other. That will even help you to know more about the environment. It will take you to different parts, different policy that you'll be creating. However, don't forget, right there are documents also. There are documents also on how to go about it. Or if you don't understand what the meaning of the policy or the meaning of what it asks you to implement, you can click on those documents, just read it. They said Nigerians are lazy readers, so you can just go through it and see if I implement it, what will be the implication. If I don't, what is the implication before you go ahead. What is called that show you are threatening? The lower the score, the more it shows that you are threatening. The lower the score. When your environment is not safe, it means anything can be a threat. Your environment is not safe. I think some years back, where we are staying, so we have this little boy during December. So that area they do rob 247, even in the broad daylight, they come around there to rob. So this little boy pick knockouts. There are some knockouts that sound very thick. So the boy pick knockouts, just throw it on the street, bow. And the next thing, within 5-10 minutes, everywhere is empty. The entire street, people have gone into their houses, locked their shops and everything before they know it's knockout. So the lower the score, anything can be a threat to you. At least for those that are lazy to start going one after the other to enable this, enable that. The secure score will show you um what you need to do and what you are yet to do. What is the proper range to be more safe? If you can get 100%, fine. You can go ahead to do it. You can go ahead to do it. So that is all on secure score. Anything else before? Mine is showing 26 points. That is approximately 26.9 percent, 26.84. You can approximate it. 26.84%. You know what to do. So, anything else? Then before we proceed, our time is flying. Yes, it's like an exam score. The lower the score, the more your system is prone to threat. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Andy. Joel, if you are sending something, I'm not sure I can see that. That is so tiny. 38.12. You can do better, actually. You can do better. So that is all on secure score. So let's now go to our threats. Hopefully, we'll be able to end our class this week. Hopefully. So let me jump. I think I will drop some things. Do you have Explorer? Let me drop some things. Don't worry. We'll come back to it later. Let me jump. So let's come to our policies and rule. For those that are with us that are going through their lab also, please let me know once you are here. It's under email and collaboration. Microsoft Defender, email and collaboration. The last option, policies and rules. Policies and rules. Please, I don't want us to go back again before you start saying, I did not see that. Okay. Okay. So we can continue now. So under the threat policy, we see that the things we talked about earlier, the malware, the phishing, we all have them here. So let's start with the two template policy that we have at the top. So we have preset security policy. So this preset security policy is Microsoft's recommendation based on their updates from data centers, the kind of threats they are receiving in their data centers. So this preset is based on those recommendations. So if you want to use a preset policy, is always strict. The policy is always strict, which means normally an email that is phishing, not eye phishing, just normal phishing, can go to quarantine. Normally, phishing email should get delivered to your spam mailbox or junk folder. But however, because of this preset, because it's strict, that email can go to quarantine. It won't deliver to your mailbox. So the preset actually have two. We have two of them. I think we have the documents here. Yes, fully this it. I'm not sure. Okay. I think this security score. I have it somewhere. Somewhere. I can't find it again. I think I misplaced that document. Okay, this is it. Preset security. If you look at it very well, say to use that based on our recommended settings, Microsoft recommended settings. So how can I put this that we you will get it? You know, if you go to some food vendors, you can say that their food is okay. And most time when you go to food vendor, the way they cook is they cook generally in a way that irrespective of who you are or who is coming to buy it, the food will be at least averagely okay for everybody, irrespective of your culture, your background, your taste bud, whichever way, at least 70% of the people should be okay with the food, which is the default security that we have in Microsoft. However, you can make a special order. You see that if you make a special order, the kind of what should I put now? The kind I almost said the kind of configuration you get in the food, the kind of ingredients you expect in the food and other items that you expect in the food will be different from the general food you are getting. So the special order now will now be based on some either what you requested or what the chef thinks it is okay for you based on what you have provided, maybe the money you gave the chef. So what am I trying to say? The preset security is more like a recommendation, the customized food, special order food from the canteen that you get, while the default is like our average food that the canteen cook on a normal day, that at least everybody should be fine with it. However, you can make up your mind that I don't want to make special order because of the way situation of things is. Also, I don't want to eat the normal food that we eat in the canteen. I want to cook my own food. I want to go to my house, get my ingredients based on what I have in my house. I am allergic to this, I am allergic to that, or doctor have recommend I should not eat this, I should not eat that. That is where your own personal configuration comes in. Your own configuration comes in. So let me drop this in the chat for those that might need it. You can't see policies from your end. So what are you saying? What are you saying? You can drop screenshots of what you are saying. For those that have with me in the class, we have the attendance form already. They can fill it. We have the attendance form already. You can fill it. So that is just a little explanation on how Precept is. So we still do our own configurations, customized configurations. So don't forget, whenever I mention the customized configuration, it's like you cooking your own food in your house. And if you are cooking your food in your house, two things is involved. Either the food is delicious or not. It's either the food is delicious or not, because now it is based on your own recommendation, based on your own expertise, that you selected what you want to cook, how you want to cook it, and when you want to cook it. Don't forget that you also have family members that will be affected if you decide to cook rubbish. Some can start purging, some can even turn to food poisoning for some people. I remember back then, we have some set of guys at home, anytime they want to cook, then we'll be advising everybody to get what is this stuff called that will pour in water? Andrew liver salt. We advise others to get Andrew liver salt, or if you can avoid the food completely, just try to avoid it. Or if you want to lose weight, then you can go ahead to eat the food. So that is how delicious those food used to be from those guys then. So that is that about the preset security policy. So while I'm talking about the preset security policy, all the policies we have here, they have default policies, which I've also mentioned. We'll still go into them one after the other, but I've actually done what mentioned all those things as the average food that we have in our canteen and that we eat. However, we don't like those food. We want to decide to create our own custom configuration. So on the other hand, configuration analyzer, you can see even from the meaning, you can get it direct. You can see, uh, you know, after while you are cooking your while you are trying to cook your rubbish, at times you have women in the house, mommies, daddies, elderly people in the house. They tell you, you can't add that amount of Maggi seasoning. Sorry, you can't add that amount of seasoning. You can't add that amount of salt. Oh, that water is too much to it. So they'll be doing what? They correct you to let you know that, okay, what you are doing, okay, you can adjust this. Oh, the gas is too much, you can reduce it, else this food will burn, and some other things like that. So is what we have the configuration analyzer for. So they help you or after cooking your food, there are some people that will eat it, then they will correct you, okay, next time if you want to cook your jollof rice, don't add this, don't add that to it. Next time you want to cook your beans so that you have good taste for beans, don't add this or that to it. Or this one to pour the beans on fire, this one to add the salt, this one to add other seasonings to your food also. So they will tell you your lapses and everything, which is where the configuration analyzer comes in. Then before we go to our other policies, checking it one after the other. Do we have any question? And if you don't understand anything, let me know. Then we proceed, we just have 2 minutes to do that. How can I get to the policy from there? Please recap. Our time is fast spent. We only have this weekend. See, let me show you our outline. I think this is our outline. See, we are still here. See, and under here we have everything. We are still coming today, and we have less than an hour to complete it. So recap again. We affect a lot of things. Okay, I believe the person has gotten it. So a quick recap then. A quick recap for the person that requested for recap. So as I said earlier, we have a precept security policy, and the precept the policy is based on Microsoft's recommendation. That is the threat they are receiving in their data center. In their data center also, there will be people that are sending malicious, different way to just do what? Make sure they attack their data center to get some information. So based on those things they are receiving, not even us. So the preset configuration will the settings for it will be done based on the threats they are receiving, which I brought up this documentation, and you can see it here. And the funniest thing about it is that you can't edit it. The policy, you can't edit it, you can't make any changes on it. So we have the standard, and we have the strict, we have the built-in. So, and that was when I was giving illustration of food vendor. We have an average food that is cooked for everybody, irrespective of who you are. Then we have another food that is a customized food for you. If you decide to request for customized, also you can decide that, okay, I don't want a customized food, I don't want the average food, I want to decide to cook my own food. You get your ingredients and everything, you take it down home. So the average food is our default policy, the customized food is the preset security policy. Sorry, yes, the food you requested, the special order is the preset security policy. And the food you now decide to come and cook in your own house, your personal custom configuration, which is what we want to look at now. So I think I'm able to do justice to that based on the person that requested for a recap. I think somebody have answered, the last person that answered, that asked questions. So we are going to anti-phishing. So, initially we define what phishing is. You can see now we have our default policy here, which is our average food for everybody. Normally they expect you to eat this and be okay. So Microsoft have a default policy for everybody, but now we want to create our own custom policy in our environment. So let me just open it, and you see that the configuration that we have here is about most of the definition we already talked about at the beginning of the class. So let me call this. Which name can I give this? Let me just give it test. Let me not call it Joseph today again before my boss will sack me. So you can give the policy name and add description. If it's a production environment, it is good to add description. By the time I click on this policy, probably I want to delete it. Then once I see the descriptions will tell me what the policy is meant for and why this policy was created in a production environment. So I will know, there are some environments we have several admins. If you remember last week, we were talking about admins where we have multiple admins. So in situation like that, it is better you give your policies descriptions, the reason why and what they are used for. So you put your description there so that someone else will not just come there and delete it. So once you name it, then you can click on next. You can click on next. So this policy now that we want to create, which user should this policy apply to? Which user? If I send email to Olajide, should this policy apply to Olajide alone? Should this policy apply to the if not for god.com domain, or should this policy apply to a group, just a group that has the admin in it, or that has the accounting department in it, or that has the HR department in it? Or should this policy apply to the entire users, all the users? This is where you will decide on who the policy should apply to. In this situation, I want to apply the policy to myself. So, and do I want to exclude people? Yes, you can do that. Let's assume here I add my domain, the entire domain here, or I add all users here. If I add all users, so I can decide to exclude some people. Why? Depending on the kind of policy you are creating. So your why can be different reason. Probably these people travel from one location to the other. These people are your admin, they are learned. So at least if something happened to all users' accounts, the admin will still have access to their accounts and they'll be able to resolve that issue. So for this, I'm selecting myself alone. I don't want to select someone else in the tenant so it won't affect any other person. So I can click on next. So the next now is now our configuration. Is now our configuration. So this configuration we have here is more like our the presets I was explaining the other time. So the more strict it is, the more aggressive it becomes. So if I put it here, so email that should have been, let's see, they have even the description. Exactly. So you can see the description here. So messages that should have been just identified as low phishing that should have delivered to your junk mailbox or to your, or is it called now? To your junk folder, then it should be treated as a very high degree of confidence. That is very high degree, high phishing. Then that email will be quarantined. It will even get to your mailbox if you increase the aggressiveness. But this is the default one and recommended by Microsoft for this. But if you decide to add more ingredients to your food than expected, then your choice. So if you are creating the policy, don't forget the reason why we are creating phishing policy. All what you are talking about is about what security and what and compliance. So we are making sure that our environment is secure. That is why we are creating all these policies. So the next thing we have here is impersonation. You remember when we are talking about fishing? Just remember some of our definitions. Then, if you remember some of our definitions, you know why we are having impersonation here. Who still remember some of our definitions? Who still remember some of our definitions when we are talking about fishing? You know, if you remember, then I said is acts of setting a bait for people, and we have different definition then. And before we go forward, what is the difference between impersonation and spoofing? What is the difference between impersonation and spoofing? What is the difference between impersonation and spoofing? You are free to check online. Checking it yourself, writing it will make it stick. And while we are doing our configuration, there are still other things you will see so that you don't get confused. No, no. I'm saying impersonation and spoofing. The difference. What is the difference between impersonation and spoofing? Impersonation and our time is going. I believe nobody wants to answer. I don't have much time. Spoofing involves falsifying information or data to deceive others, often for malicious. Impersonation involves pretending to be okay, okay, okay. I have wonderful people here, so they gave me some definition already. So I'll put it in a layman language so we can get it, especially for those of us that will just manage to pass use of English in our university days. So impersonation, the way impersonation works for email is this. I don't know if I can bring up my notepad. Come up, come up, come up, come up. Notes. So impersonation is something like this. I'm not sure everybody will be able to see this screen. Let me use Word. I believe everybody should be able to see this. So impersonation is something like this. Um, okay, I believe everybody can see this. Let me know our Zoom. Okay, so I believe everybody can see this. Out of these three email, 1, 2, 3, which of it is correct? You can check again. Which of it is correct? which of what you have on the screen is correct? How many is correct? How many is wrong? Somebody said none is wrong. Somebody said number three. The last one. Second and the last one is impersonation. The last one, yes. For those that are together. So if you check it, so these are our president's email. So if you check it now, if I'm sending email as this person, I can set up my own tenant to be Microsoft 345community.com. If you look at these things, you see that just one character is missing. Here I change the 365 to 345. And if somebody should send email from this account, most of us will fall victim of this because we won't even bother checking this. We won't bother checking this. We just go ahead. And if you look at the other one also, you can see community. I omitted one M. So only this is correct. So that is how impersonation works. That is how impersonation works. However, for spoofing, this is how spoofing work. Control X, Control V, sender, take at you dot me from. So this is how spoofing work. Spoofing the other way. This is how spoofing work. So this is the email that sent the this is where the email is sent from, but it will show that the email is sent from this account. This is where it is sent from, but it will show that the email is sent what from this account. So by the time you receive it in your mail, it will show that it was boss that sent this email to you. Meanwhile, this was the address that sent that email. You get now. So I think we're able to do justice on impersonation and spoofing. So let's continue with our. They are all wrong. I don't get to. Whichever way, whichever way, I am not using the right address. I'm not going to use the right address before they start sending you. No, what this person is asking, you don't understand. I'm just explaining impersonation and spoofing. So I'm not going to use the right email before they start sending you or bombarding you with a lot of email. So I actually get that. So let's go back to our configuration. So this is our configuration. We enable impersonation. So where we enable this impersonation for, then we can decide to choose the senders, add users, name, enter a valid email address. My email address is valid now, just because I did not click it like this. Try to dey understand small to small. So that is that about let me add it. So the impersonation, you can see enable impersonation protection for up to 350. That enable domain to protect. No, we don't have domain, we're only using users. So add trust senders and domain. We don't have trust senders or domain to add. Assuming you have a brother company or a sister company, you can decide to add their domain here to trust sender. So far the email is coming from that sender or from that domain, then it will get directly to our inbox. It will skip some checks since you have it in our safe sender list, then to get deliver. Enable intelligence for impersonation. Should we enable it? No. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Yes, no. So what this is trying to say is recommended. So let's enable it. So what this is trying to say when they say enable intelligence for impersonation, these things, they are pattern of how you send your emails, how you do your things. So today I was giving an illustration for those that are married or for those that have parents at home. Even if I decide to do surgery or I decide to use some things and I just change from my look to your exact look. If I should come to your house, either your parents, your spouse, or your siblings, by the time I will stay in your house for less than 5-10 minutes, so far I'm carrying out some action or I'm speaking, you can easily detect that no, this is not our sister, this is not our brother. Something is wrong somewhere. Something, though this body looks like Esau's body, but this voice look like Jacob's voice. So you start wondering that no, this is not the usual pattern. This is not how this person speaks. This is not how this person cooks. This is not how this person sleep. This is not how this person do a lot of things. So from there, you can easily get that this is not the right person. So if you enable intelligence for impersonation, there is a way you have been doing your thing. So this is more like a form of AI too. Our AI, we train them. So things you have been doing before, then if otherwise happen, maybe daily you do send, let's assume you do send maths in a day, you send 5 to 10 email, then all of a sudden you want to send 100 email. So this intelligence will know that no, something is wrong somewhere. This have not happened before. Then this would do what? Will prompt an alert or depend on the configuration or the action you set. So I'm sure we don't need to speak much on spoofing again. We already talked about it. And here also you can do um tenants or so this place is the tenants allowed or block list spoofing page. So we don't have much to talk about. I think I've explained that already. So we can proceed with that. You can see now for message that are for users that are detected as impersonation, what should happen? You can see now what exactly do you want to happen. So you can choose any action you want here for each of the configuration we've done earlier. You can see if mailbox intelligence detects a impersonation, what should happen? You can see you can decide any action you want here for each of the configuration we enable earlier. So now here we have Denmark. When we are talking about exchange, do you discuss Denmark and Dickim? Do we discuss Denmark and Dickim then? I'm not sure we do.
No, no, no. We haven't treated that. We
Wow.
haven't.
Wow. Yeah, I think for the basic class, we might not need it. So I'll just proceed, but let me just rephrase on what Denmark and what Dickim is, at least so that you'll be able to get my own points from here. So I think during the intermediate, wherever I will take exchange, I'm sure the person will talk about it. And during security also, we can still talk about it. So Denmark is domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance. Conformance. And we have DKIM. DKIM also. DKIM is domain key. So the two of them is used to verify email. So one is for sending email, while for one is for inbound email, while one is for outbound email. So for DKIM is for the outbound email, the domain key identified mail is for outbound email, while the DMARC is for inbound email. So the domain key use a public key and a private key to verify your email while they send it. And when email is gotten your tenants also, the DMARC also, it has some protocol to verify the authentication to make sure it's aligned with the domain owner, is not being spoofed, and it also provides some reporting and analytics also. The um DMARC. I know some of us previously, especially if you're an IT person before now, you see that if you set up some tenants, no matter who you send email to, or if you send email to some mail server, it keeps flagging your email, it goes to junk, your email keeps going to junk. So you just need to set up your DKIM. After setting up your DKIM, then it should be fine. So what this place is asking us is, should the DMARC take a precedence over the option we have here? So we can decide to check it, yes or no. The DMARC settings we have in your tenant. Should DMARC act on all these options we have here? So we can decide to uncheck it and say no, then we give it our own personal settings. So that is it on DMARC. So we can take actions and the safety tips. You know, at the top of your email, at times if you are typing email, you see some safety tips at the top. Or if you choose an external email, let you know that this email you are choosing is an external email. Or if you receive a junk email, if you click on the it will ask you, do you still want to proceed to this site? This site has been flagged as dangerous, blah blah blah. So that is what the safety tips are. So you can decide to put any of the safety tips that I think is fine with you. You can decide to, and you can decide not to add it also. So that is how the safety tips work. And we are still on policy number 1. We are going to, I think, 4 policies, and our time is up already. So we have 5 minutes more. Maybe we'll continue from there tomorrow, or we have to rush it tomorrow, or we'll take our class till late night tomorrow. You can see now we have our custom policy. So mind you, our custom policy will take precedence over our default policy. So which means our default policy, now can you see the priority for those that did mathematics? So you can see this is 0. This is the lowest. So anything that comes now, this will be what we act on it, not the default policy. So that is that for anti-phishing configuration from our threat policy. So we have the anti-spam policy also. So I will skip some parts while I just move forward. We know spam is an unsolicited emails. That is what spam is. Let me drop this also. I think I have this. I intend to discuss this before, so I just have to skip how those emails are being routed, how they are being checked. But because of our time, I just have to skip this. But let me drop it in the group. Let me drop it in the chat. Yeah, the priority is 0. 0 is higher than 1. So here we have the outbound and inbound policy. So the outbound deals with emails that are going out, while the inbound deals with emails that are coming into your environment. And you have the connection filter. In the connection filter, you can block IP or allow IP in the connection filter. You can see block list, IP block list, IP allowed list in the connection filter. I think we don't have much to talk about this for for now. So I think we only create an inbound policy today, then we'll stop so that Rafiah will not sue us. So inbound policy, the same way we did the other time. So we have this. So the description, as I said earlier, it's always good to add description in production environments, but in test environments, you might decide not to add a description to it. But in a production environment, it is always advisable you add description. Then next, so these are the people that this policy will take effect on. If an email is sent to, if not for God, then this policy will act on that email before it gets to, if not for God. So what are the configuration we have? If you remember the last time too, we did some configuration. Then before we did what? Before we did the actions. So if we receive a spam email, most of the time you go to your spam mailbox, you see that the email contain image, but because it is delivered to your spam mailbox, you won't see those images. But if you move it to your inbox, you see that those images will come up. And at times, if you click on a link there, it will show you this link is dangerous, this and that. So this is where you can make configuration for it. You can see link image, numeric IP address in URL, URL redirect to other ports. That is URL that is redirected in other ports that you have in those spam emails, link to business or info websites, what should happen to them. So mark as spam, specify whether to mark message that includes this property, empty message. You can see embedded tag with HTML, JavaScript, form tags in HTML. So if you want to mark what all these, some sensitive words, maybe like your bank details, financial things, and some other things like that that are sensitive, that is they are asking from you. If the SPF fails, if sender ID filtering had failed, all these I think to be treated in exchange, maybe intermediate class. We understand the SPF. I know during the SPF they mentioned some of these, but we might just not take notes of it. Backscatter and others. So what should happen particularly? Contain specific language. If send file language using F word and some other things, what should happen? It should be marked as spam. Then what should happen next? Spam message, what should happen? High confidence spam, what should happen? Phishing, what should happen? So we have actions or what should happen to each of those emails. It's a bulk complaint. That is a mailbox that has been flagged repeatedly. So if once your mail server detects it to be a bulk email, what should happen? It should just delete it or move it to the junk, which is action for what we have. We also have the safety tips and the 0 hour auto purge. I think ourselves we can check online for the 0 hour auto purge. This app, it talks a lot about security. Also you can check it at your own convenience. And the last part of this configuration is sender, allow, and block list. I can decide to block some user, I can decide to block some domain, and I can add some user to my trusted list and domain to my trusted list. If I know these people are sending email for legitimate reasons, I can add them um to my allow sender list, which is where we will stop today. We see that the anti-spam, I just have to rush it at least so we know that we've done a lot today then before we stop. So any question before we hand over back to Rafiat?
Yes, there are questions. Thank you so much, Olajide. Thank you so, so much. Yeah, M365 is vast, right? So it's not possible to cover everything in one session. Yeah, you did very well. Like, it's so explanatory. All of the examples, real time scenarios. Thank you so much. At least me, I learned something today. I learned the difference between impersonation and spoofing, right? Even if I treated yeah, that's what was just to it, because I still know I picked a case where a user's email was spoofed, and no, that a user's um, account was compromised, and they used it to send spoofed emails. Like the sender email address was exactly the same as the end user's email address. So you can imagine. So the subject title will definitely tell you that this mail is from the wrong person, not the actual person.
Yes,
So
the
that takes
return
me to the
part.
question. Yes. No, yeah, in this case, even the return part was still carrying the end user, the sender's email address. That's to show you that it was actually a compromised account, right? From that
Okay.
return part. Yeah. So yeah, because someone asked the question here, how would you know? I had to take that down. The person is asking that, how do you identify spoofing? Does it mean a user can't detect spoofing? So these are two questions from spoofing that I would like you to answer.
Okay. I know you have answers to that question, but I will go ahead anyway. So, spoofing, as I said earlier, the user that is receiving it at the other end might not know that you are being spoofed. But however, if you check the content of the message at times, you will know. As I said, one of the way I can spoof your email is I can go to this website, I think, where they send bulk SMS. You know, there are some websites where you can send bulk SMS, bulk email. So I'll put your email as the sender. Meanwhile, you are not the one that is sending it. That is why I said, assuming we talk much about the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, then these questions will actually will not be coming up. So if you send it, if it's a spoof email, by the time the email gets to you, by the time the email gets to you, most times if you send it to your team, like when we are in support, we can analyze that email, and most time you see that the return part is not the same thing. For a genuine email, both the sender address and the return part is expected to be the same. And for the account, Rafiat mentioned that the mailbox was compromised. They were able to sign into that user's mailbox. If you listen when I was explaining impersonation, things like that happen when your mailbox detects strange movements. You see that the EOP will do what, can block that account for that movement. We add that account to block user, and before it even add the account to block user, most time you first add the account to risk users. Then from the risk users, then the account will be blocked for maybe like 1 hour or 2 hours. You'll not be able to send email or do anything because the mailbox intelligence is perceiving that something is actually what wrong. So most time we always advise customer like that, enable MFA, we check connectors and some other things like that. So to get spoofing is always very easy, very easy, because of the tone is always and precise. I used to tell people, if somebody chats you on WhatsApp, Rafiat, send me 10,000. Even if the person is your dad, it is right for you to do what? To call the person to confirm. Hello, daddy. You asked me to send you 10,000. Yes, okay. I will send it. But we not just go ahead blindly and just do what? Go ahead to send the money because the message is coming from your daddy and you love your dad or you love your mom very well. So most time we take emotion out of these things. Then you just need to ask some hard questions to verify some of those things. Somebody is sending you a form that you need to add your BVN, add your NIN, add your ATM card details, and you've not even spoken to the person in a while. or the person, you and the person did not have any discussion like that. Oh, I am stranded. I am currently in somewhere. I don't have access to my ATM. I can't talk to anybody. Okay, it's fine. You sent a message. Call the person to also do what? Confirm. Yeah, a victim of what I said last year. Okay. So still call the person to do what? To confirm. There is what we call zero trust in cyber security. Everything, confirm everything. If you see anything strange, just assume breach, then reconfirm everything again. Don't assume that since it was like this yesterday, it's still the same thing. No, go and confirm everything again. Go and confirm everything again. So spoofing is always easy to detect. Like the email I showed you earlier, you can see that there are a lot of things that is wrong in that email. However, the aim of that email is not for the content of the email, but for that email, there's a URL there they want you to click. And what people don't know most time about those URL is there are some URL, they don't need your information, not the information you want to put on that URL that matters. All what they just need you to do is to interact with that URL. I think there are some of my friends at my former place of work that lost their crypto wallets just because of URL. They interact with that URL and they did what? They wipe their entire crypto wallet. So at times they just want you to interact with the URL. No, you don't even need to put your information in it for them to get it. So it all depends. What if daddy phone was stolen and used to send the message? Yeah, that's why you need to call daddy now. Daddy asks you to send money. Then you call daddy. And precise, your daddy said his phone is stolen and he needs money. The first thing you need to do is not to send money. The first thing you need to do is to call to ask if he's safe first. That's why I said if we are going to get spoofing email very well, we don't need to think with emotions. We don't need a grade. You just need to think with your clear brain to be able to get spoofed email very well as a non-IT person. As a non-IT person, Rafiat, I don't know if I answered your question. And if I don't answer your question, you can answer your question yourself because I know you have the answers.
Indeed, yeah. Oh, sorry. So as I was saying, sorry. So now someone is asking, you've answered the question. Thank you. Thank you. You have. So someone is saying that it's supposed to be .onmicrosoft.com. You're actually right. Your default Microsoft 365 account is usually the on microsoft.com. That's correct. Now, can we create a policy to add a banner to any mail received from a sender outside your organization? That takes us to exchange. Olajide, that question is for you. They're asking that can you create a policy to add a banner to any mail received from a sender outside your organization?
Yes, you can use a Mayflow rule that any message coming from outside the organization, you will see it, it will tag it external. Even when you are sending a message outside the organization, it will tag it external. And I know there is one other one that can be done from Outlook also. You see all those messages that are from external user, it will tag everything external, external, external. And that also works for what is it called, some security reasons, because if you want to reply some email, probably somebody has impersonate your friend's email, you do not check the domain very well, or you do not check some information very well. By the time you click on reply, it will show you that the user is external. Then from there you can get to know that, oh, this is not my colleague, this is not my boss. So that is much possible. Yes, the boss is here. The boss wants to add to it. You can go ahead, boss.
Hi, Judy. Hold on. Thank you so much. So, Rafi, I want to clarify Victor's question, right? When I said when Olajide was giving the examples of different email from me, and I mentioned that all the emails are actually wrong. I actually know what he was doing. He wasn't actually using the real account. So my real email is actually Emmanuel at Nigeria m35community.com. So that's what I was actually saying, that all the emails are actually wrong. So for Victor, the on Microsoft.com wasn't actually what we are referring to, right? It was just that the email that Olajide used as an example wasn't actually a real email. But the point is that Microsoft 365 community.com, which is actually the original domain, which should be the correct one, not the one that says Microsoft 345 or the one that says Microsoft 365, then community having just one N. So that's actually the clarity I wanted to clarify for Victor there regarding the domain. So you actually correct you with the dot on Microsoft, but the real email that I was referring to was my community email, which is not actually Microsoft 365 community, but Nigeria M35 community.com. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, boss. Rafiah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that clarification. So the next thing would be, I think we've covered all the questions so far. Let's see.
So, Rafi, I just wanted to suggest something. Like today, I don't know if you're taking tomorrow's class as well. So, if it is possible, just get an overview of SPF, DKIM, and DMAP for them. I feel they will appreciate it. And the reason why our exchange mentors didn't touch it is because DKIM has been moved from Exchange Online completely to Defender. So, since you're only the Defender, so if possible, if you have a custom domain that you can use as a demo for them to see how to configure DKIM. Although I've provided additional resources in this chat and as well as our WhatsApp group, where I actually mentioned how to configure DKIM there. But to still be good if you have the time tomorrow, maybe the first 20 minutes of the time tomorrow, mention those things. Show them what SPF is, DKIM, how to configure. I mean, to take about 30 minutes to actually do those things. Thank you.
Yeah, I would have actually love to do, but I'm still considering other things we have here. Like what we have today, we did not cover it all. So we are still somewhere. Um, yeah. Why is my mouse running away?
Okay.
My mouse is misbehaving. So if you look at the outline I shared earlier, you see that we are still far behind the schedule. Let me see if I can show. Okay. So if you look at the three, we stop at Microsoft email security features, which is what we are still talking about. So if you want to incorporate the DKIM and the DMARC, you can see that day 4 itself is bombarded already.
Yes,
So I
no,
can
it's
see.
not affected. So go ahead with
Mhm.
yours. Go with your scheme, right? So what we do is that we provide additional resources for them, right? That they can go and watch on their own. And if they have questions, they can always ask anytime, be it in class or on the WhatsApp group. We'll be there to explain and respond to them. Thank you. Go ahead with your class. Don't mess up your class so you can cover what you need to cover. Thank
Okay,
you.
boss. Yeah. Rafiat, floor is
Yeah,
open.
so I think the last question for today would be, what's the difference between Azure and Microsoft 365?
Rafiat, you can answer that question. You don't need to push that question to me. Okay, so in layman language, we have the entry ID, we have the Azure. So let me just quickly show us what Azure exactly is. Let me see if I can open this. I think I did something similar just today. We are we are deploying some resources. Rafiat, this question is not part of the class. You are scamming me.
Okay. Olajide, don't make me laugh.
So if you check what we have in Azure now, you can see that the things we have here, you can see it asked me to create resource. So yeah, Azure mainly is to deploy. Let me just use a layman language you will understand from it. Is another Microsoft technology, also a platform that is used to deploy resources, and we have a lot of resources, a lot of them here. that you can deploy. Why the Microsoft 365 is another Microsoft technology, and we've explained all the technologies, the sub technologies. We have the Microsoft 365 technology earlier. You can see even the Office apps. Before it used to be Office 365, everything was moved to Microsoft 365, which means your Excel, your Word, your Outlook, your Exchange, your Teams, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, everything together is what we have in that make up the Microsoft 365. We have co-pilots now. We have a lot of them in Microsoft 365, but these ones I mentioned are just the major ones. But however, in Azure, you can see that what we have in Azure is totally different from what we have in Microsoft 365. But however, everything, the identity is managed from the Entra ID center, which we talk ID portal, which we talked about last week. So I want to give a brief and a short answer. So I'm not sure if I answered that person's question.
I can say to an extent you did answer the question. So basically, from my own side, when you say Azure, if you I like to give examples, right? If I'm signing into Microsoft 365, Microsoft 365 is I'll say software as a service, right? You did have to type maybe office.com to get access to your Microsoft 365. Azure is another different platform itself where you have to type your azure.com to get there. So now Azure is just like Jide said, it's more of deploying VMs, networking, and all of that. But Microsoft 365 just covers your productivity tools, application, the likes of Outlook, the likes of Teams, SharePoint, Word, Excel. It has all of that embedded in M365. Now, a part of Azure that you'd see in M365 is the Entra ID that manages identity and um, access and authentication, right? That's a part of Azure that you'd find in Entra ID. So most people tend to confuse Entra ID with Azure. They are two different things, very, very different. So I'll stop here while I welcome Madam Toriola to take the last part for today's session. I did say earlier that she has a lot of information for us that she'll be sharing with us. So welcome, Ma. And thank you so much, Olajide, for your time and for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you, Olajide. Thank you, Rafiah. I guess
Good evening,
I
Ma.
wouldn't waste so much of our time. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. I'm sure I'm not going to waste a lot of our time. And then this is because there's been a lot of questions that have been going on the what they call it on the group channel or the WhatsApp group regarding the certification part and all of that. I guess probably maybe one of these days, Emmanuel, you stay on the call. Emmanuel Itoje, I was actually looking for that poster you sent to me. That was what I was looking for because of the question they were asking around um, the certification part and all of that. So I wish we can take you on that, to be honest. But the ideal time for me that would have been to take you guys through a certification part and then be able to know what you'll be able to, the certificate, the exam that you'll be able to write would have been something like a Saturday 12 p.m., not in the evening, but I know we are from different location. That may pose as a challenge, and then that's the reason. So, but it's so I will come from the question you asked so that um the M365. So this program is M365 mentorship. Our community is M365, Nigeria M365. So ordinarily, when you talk about the M365, what product is inside of it? We say that the Microsoft 365 is a suite of products. And when you talk about suite of products, you will remember very well when, what's his name? I can't remember. Is it Evis? When Evis took course on cloud computing, he did mention the different kinds of cloud deployment scenario we can have, where he talked about software as a service, where he talked about platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and all of that. So now the M365 we are talking about falls under the software as a service. Now, when you talk about M365, is a suite of product like I mentioned before, so you can break it down. What are the productivity tools? Just like Rafiah said, what are the productivity tools that make up M365? You talk about tools for collaboration, you talk about tools for productivity, and then there is also the part of the security with it. And then lastly, devices. So when you're looking at M365 as a product, you are actually looking at one, Office 365, which Office 365 is like a productive solutions, productivity tool, sorry, a productivity tool is where you have things, what makes you productive in an environment, things like your email, your Microsoft Teams, your SharePoint, all of that fall under the Office 365. And then you have the enterprise and mobility security aspect of it, which falls under a bit of what Olajide is taking you now. And then you have also the devices, which caters for the Windows 10. So that's why we said M365 is a suite of products. It has all of those things embedded. Now, there are certification part. You can see what I've just said right now. That means that you can either try to write certification that is just for productivity or even for what? For devices. So you have product certification for devices, which is on the Windows 10, then you or Windows 11, then you have certification that is also for what? For Office 365 productivity, which is mainly a lot of what we've been teaching you here. And then you also have certification for security, which falls more on what Olajide is talking about, and then a lot more really. So now for anything on productivity, you have it as what? MX 900, which is like MX 900. We'll be talking about MX 900. That's why Emmanuel was saying that do MX 900, because to some extent, a lot of what we're doing here, SharePoint falls under it. They're going to take you. Microsoft Teams falls under it. Exchange Online falls under MX 900. So that really is like your certification around M365. Then when you are now talking about SC 900, it falls under what a lot of what Olajide is taking now. So but to make life very easy for you people, because I still look at it that I think we need to do something better for you guys to ensure that you have that certification. I mean, you understand the certification part. Emmanuel, I don't know whether you're on the call. Emmanuel, Itoje, if Emmanuel is on the call, I wish I have that post. I've been looking for it, that one you sent. But however, we do not want you to just be working or reading or studying blindly and all of that. So it's fine that you choose AZ 900, it's fine. So what we have done is this. I'm just going to share my screen in a bit. Part of what we've done is this. Now we have come up with a learning plan for you guys that is specific for each of which of the training you're going to do. So if you look at this right now, this is what we're going to be sharing with you. That's the reason we're asking you for your exam code. If we know the exam code that you are going to be doing, I mean, we can now schedule a learning plan for you. So this is a learning plan for MX 900, and MX 900 is the fundamental exam. That is the basic exam, like the primary arithmetic exam for what? For M365. So we have the MX 900. This is a training plan. What we've done also is to make it as easy as possible for you so that you can see where you can start from. So all of these courses, and you can see this is milestone 1. Well, I'm going to share this training with you. I mean, Rafiah is going to share it with you guys. The days you are expected to finish this course for this milestone one, like you have 1, 2, 3, 4 under it is 4 days. So this is the whole course for MS 900 you are going to go for. So we are expecting that preparing for the exam, it should take you nothing less than, worst case scenario, 25 days for you to be able to finish this course. And the reason I'm saying that is because I said worst case scenario. Because if you look at it really, each of the course here is 23 minutes in a day. Why am I saying worst case scenario? I'm saying that maybe one day somebody will say, oh, I don't have internet, or my system is slow. That's why I'm using 23 minutes just to study in a day. Nothing says that with this milestone that we have created for you, that you cannot even bypass or study beyond these days. This thing is actually going to be like a challenge. And let me be clear to you on how Microsoft is viewing this. One of the things that the Microsoft Learn itself, they are working with us. They see what we're doing in the community and they are excited about that. That is why we can go back and be asking them for vouchers. Now, the vouchers we have received so far, we know, let me say it ahead of time, it may not be adequate for everyone because I know I've seen a lot of registration. But the only way that you can encourage Microsoft to give more is that you are going to participate in this. You are going to, what they call it, you are going to take this course, and then Microsoft at the back end also will be tracking your progress. And that progress, yes, we know some people have been giving vouchers, but those vouchers will be sent out once they can see, that is, you will receive the voucher for you to be able to write your exam. Once we can see that you have come to like 70% of your training. So if I were you now and I've started this course, and then probably maybe in my course I have completed up to 70, 75, it will trigger a notification to Microsoft, and then they will send you your voucher. But these and all of these are things that we're going to share with you. Do you understand? We're sending this with you during this week. Bear at the back of your mind that the exam is going to have to be written by December, on or before December 25th, because the license is going to, the voucher is going to expire. So we expect that everybody should study this. What we have done right now, working with the Microsoft Learn, is to curate this course outline for you, this plan for you. You can see that a lot of effort has gone into it. We've put this training out for you from the basics so that there is nothing that you can miss. And once you finish this course, we have other things we are going to share with you. We have practice assessments we are going to share with you. We are also planning to have like a study group where we put all of you in study group. The people that are doing MS 900, we put you in study group. You guys can brainstorm. Then you will have mentors with you in those groups. Any question you want to ask, even while you are reading, you can bombard us and you ask us. Then the very first week, or the last week, let me not say the first week, the last week of November, we are planning that on the Saturday we will have to take you through a review session, which means that we will be reviewing past questions with you, and then we'll be telling you why these questions is the one that is right. We'll also share materials with you. This part of the materials we're sharing right now is the Microsoft Learn material. Apart from that, we're also going to share materials of past questions. Some of them are on YouTube, and then you will have to use it. And then we have the Microsoft practice also. We are also going to share it with you. So there are resources for you to share. Please, I'm begging you. Some others may not receive this, what they call it. But even if you do not receive the voucher yet, I will encourage you to do this course so that somebody can see your progress, and then they see that you do not have voucher. I can make a case for Microsoft. They are willing to give us. So if I were you, even if I have not been nominated, I will do this course, and then in tracking your progress, if we see that you do not have vouchers, if you have not been nominated yet, we will now get a voucher for you. Please bear that at the back of your mind. So far, what we've done is that we've done the same for AZ900. You can see for AZ900, I'm working on the one for SC900 before I was called out. So both of them will be ready latest by tomorrow, and then they will send it to you. I know there are other people that are trying to write some other exam, but what we've seen a lot is that MS900 carries a lot of the mark. But no pressure, don't get discouraged if you feel your name is not called. That voucher, I can assure we will see as much as possible that 90% of us will get those vouchers. So we're working on it. But please encourage us to be able to do what to ask on your behalf. If at the end of the day, the training is such that we are not seeing traction on it, then it is also very difficult for us to ask Microsoft to give us voucher. Another thing I need you also to be at the back of your mind is that in the Nigeria economy of today, the fundamental exam costs nothing more less than what 150. Why the advance, even if you want to write the advance, you'll be going to 260,000. Please don't waste this voucher. Study to show yourself approved, study to pass. We will support you, and that is what we are doing. You see all of the mentors this night staying behind, trying to teach you. Everybody is looking for ways to make. I can assure you, and I'm saying it to myself, I did not have this opportunity. A lot of the exams that I pass is using this Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn, please study it. Once you study, we will give you other resources. Once you complete, in fact, it's supposed to be a challenge now. Once we share this, we even want to see the first 10 people to finish theirs and then see. And like I said, the first 10 people to get to the 75%, because trust me, we will be getting what we will be sharing, will be what they call it. We will be tracking your progress from the back end, and we're not the only one that will be tracking your progress. Even Microsoft will be doing so also. So please help us to be able to make cases for the others that do not have. Now, the first time when we shared the plan with you, I just want to show you what it will be like. That's what I'm trying to open. The first time when the link is shared with you, this is what you're going to see. And then do me the favor to ensure that, oh, sugar, coming, just hold on. So do me the favor to ensure that your, what they call it, you are signing in with your what, your Microsoft Outlook. To the person that asked the question on the difference between AZ and M365, Azure and M365, trust me, if you go through this course, you will come back and tell us that you already know what is the difference. Just trust me. It is not something that is really, really, really hard. So just don't take it like it is. Yes, we know you guys are new on it and all of that, but don't take it to, don't overthink it. Just be rest assured that in no time you will find your footing. It's not really something that is hard. So when this thing is shared with you, this is what you will see. Now you can sign in to start. Please, when you sign in to start, you will sign in to start, and then you sign in with your Microsoft Words Outlook account. That same account is what at the
Hi,
end of the day,
MJ.
and as you,
Sorry to
yes,
cut you. So they're asking
yeah.
question about should they use the test tenant account that will create for them to sign in or personal accounts? So I wanted to actually address that part.
Okay. No. That's what I'm saying. This Microsoft Outlook account is what you will use to sign in. So you need to create a Microsoft account. Now, for you to create your Microsoft account, I know if you don't know, just go to outlook.com and then just create a Microsoft account. That's all. You can even be your Gmail account is what you want to turn to your Microsoft account. You see, that same account is what you are going to use to register for your exam. Now, the tenant accounts we create for you, I mean, that was created for you, was just for you to be able to test or to run practicals. Do you get? But for you to study, use this to study, sign in, create a new Microsoft account, which can be your Microsoft account, can be anything. Like I said, it can be outlook.com, if it's ultimate.com, it can even be your Gmail that you want to use as your Microsoft account. Once you sign in, they can track your progress. That same account, like I said, is what you will use to register for your exam. So it's personal to you. Remember that the tenant account you are talking about is only for a period of time that you're on this program, that you are using it. Once you finish this program, another set comes in, we might likely yank your account away from the tenant. So it's not something that is yours forever. But the account I'm asking you to sign in with right now will be something that will be yours forever. Now, as you go through each of these courses, you will also be earning badges. You will earn some badges which you can celebrate on the on LinkedIn. You can post, you can celebrate even before you do your exam. These are things that will give you visibility even in the job market. So ensure that you sign in with your Outlook account. If you don't have one already, create one. So I hope that helps. Now, a lot of the things we'll be telling you, like I said, we will share all of these plans with you. Believe me, to some of you that have been sent your, what they call it, your vouchers is already here. Your vouchers are here already. So believe me, we have your vouchers with us. However, and I'm saying however is because there is a tendency for people to say, oh, because I get the voucher and then I relax. One of the things Microsoft also want to do is to be able to track your progress and to track how you are doing. So that is why we want, once you hit your 75% of this course, please notify us. Trust me, we can manage you from the back end. So look at it, we can view your progress. And once we can view your progress, what you have completed, we will send you your voucher. We're even going to guide you on how you are going to register for the exam. For some of you, to write that exam, you might go to a testing center. If you are in a place where you do not have testing center, maybe for some of our colleagues that are abroad and they have very good internet, if they also submitted, you can actually write the exam online. But if you are in Nigeria, I am telling you ahead of time, I do not recommend you write your exam online because Nigeria internet will disappoint you. So you can go to testing center. The testing centers you have some in Yaba, like I said. Even Hashem is a testing center. So if you want to come and write the exam there, why not? Fine. It's an 100% discounted voucher. Nobody's going to collect any extra money from you that you have to pay. Just ensure that you do what you just study and then follow this. We are here to really help you. Please, it is important for us to see that at the end of the day, you are available and maybe you can work in the job market. So you can see all of these courses. I have taken my time to ensure that I did not, what you should start up with is what you are starting with. What should go next is what should go next. So a lot of effort has been put into this. Just ensure what is required from you right now is what your own dedication of time. And like I used to say to people, if every one of us keep quiet and we don't talk, time doesn't stand still. It continues. So the more you make use of your time, the better for you. So I remember saying that even if it means 30 minutes while you are in the bus, you are on your phone, instead of checking, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you cannot check status. There is always time for everything. If I have to check status, wasting my time just to see people posting things, yes, it can be funny. Well, sometimes I can use that time, that 30 minutes in the traffic, just to read up something. So if you take this one out, describe cloud computing, it's just 23 minutes. I've used my productive time. If another day I look at it, I take 17 minutes. That's why we put 3 days. Ordinary, I mean 4 days. Ordinary, I'm supposed to say the whole of this should take you what, 1 day. So this is also a challenge. We want to see the people that feel that, oh, for these 4 days is too much for me to even finish this milestone one. Just how many courses under it before I move to milestone two. I can finish it in how many days? You can see somebody that is asking what is Microsoft 365. You have the answer here. Please just go through. And we are not doing it that you should just watch, you should just read. All of these ones here on demand are what? Videos. All of the on demands are what? Videos, because we want you also, not just because we want you to read, we want you also to have an experience that you are seeing someone and then all of that. The tenants they've given to you, use as much as possible to track, to practice what you are learning. Please do. Any question you have, we've asked you, post it. No question is what is rubbish or it is sounds stupid. Don't say it the way you want to say it. Just like someone that is asking what's the difference between Azure and M365. Don't limit yourself that, oh, it sounds stupid. No, you have the right to ask your question. It's not stupid. You are here to be guided. So ask the question, throw it to us. We will help you with it. I hope you all understand. So with that, this week we'll be sharing with you a lot of the resources. By Monday, I think all of these resources will even be available for you. Your vouchers also will be is available. Please trust me when I say your voucher is available. We've gotten all of the vouchers. We're just wanting you to make case for the others. I have seen like a 420 registration, and the vouchers we just have is about 300. So do we want to prove to Microsoft to give us more, so that those people, that the remaining set of people, once they see the seriousness, all of the only way I was able to convince Microsoft to give us more voucher is to take them to our YouTube channel. And then they saw that on the YouTube channels, they see the number of people that are on the course, on the session every weekend. And that moved them to say, oh, what we're doing here is really. So please, guys, I am begging you guys, ensure you study. Don't be lazy about it. In fact, if somebody comes to me and tell me that they've finished this course, in total is 25 days. But if you come to me and tell me you finished this course in less than 15 days, because truly somebody will tell me that this is something they should be able to finish in 5 days, to be honest. But we don't want to also, we are also being considerate. What about internet? What about light? All of the factors we're trying to. But believe me, your Microsoft Learn, you can even download it to your mobile. Look for Microsoft Learn app on your phone. You can download it. It is not until you have what? A system. Look for the Microsoft Learn app and then sign in, and you can do the course. Trust me, you can do it. There is let's give less of excuse. We've done a lot here, and then let our effort also be like, oh, be rewarded. And the only way you can reward us is just to do what? Ensure that you study to pass. So I don't know. I would look through the chat window right now and then see all of this, yes, is curated from Microsoft Learn. Thank you. I think, yes, every course here is curated, but we created this course based on experience, so that we can space your learning. You will not get module up that, oh, what am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to learn? That's why we have taken our time to look at the course as it is relevant to you. And trust me, when you start going through it, you will also find joy to say, oh, this really makes sense. Oh, this is what Madam Titi has said. This is what Jide is talking about. This is what Joseph has said. Oh, okay, now I can relate a lot of, and then you can even read ahead of the class. This same curriculum that is there is what we are going to teach you. So it is like you are even going to read ahead of the class for us. And then when you come into the class, you can now what? It's now easy for you to even relate. So some of the questions you ask here may not even be okay. So he said, am I giving is the deadline is from Microsoft? It's not from me. Thank you, Emmanuel, for helping me to answer. So are you giving the same deadline to people? The deadline is from Microsoft, not me, please. All right, guys. So we'll share this with you, and then we'll share this with you. Start your learning immediately. Trust me, we will track it. Sign in. Please, if you don't know how to sign up for a Microsoft account, just go to Google how to sign up for a Microsoft account, and then that Microsoft account is what you also are going to use to sign up to what Microsoft Learn. So if you do not have a Microsoft Learn account, you can start to use that. Let me start my overnight.